Here's the truth about Xbox's future. What is up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, games, accessories, you know how it goes. Pretty much anything I want to talk about, as long as it's about Xbox in some way. Now, if you've been following the channel, hell, if you've been following any news outlet for the past week, you would have seen that, damn, it has been a crazy week in the world of Xbox. We were just minding our business, playing whatever game that you're playing right now. Maybe you were enjoying whatever game you're playing as part of your Game Pass subscription. And then Xbox was like, you know what? We haven't had a controversy in like, I don't know, 6 weeks. Let's go ahead and throw in Fortnite Crew, Ubisoft Classics, and add in the ability to stream games at 1440p resolution. And in exchange, we're gonna bump the price of Game Pass Ultimate from $20 to $30 a month, and then we'll restructure the other tiers. It'll be great. What followed that was just absolute pandemonium, craziness, people rushing to cancel their Game Pass Ultimate subscription, some people even getting rid of their Xbox consoles, people saying Xbox is dead. Xbox is done. It's over. Rest in peace because they are 6 feet under. No, we've heard this exact line of thinking for pretty much this entire generation at this point. You can go back even further than that, maybe like 10 years ago to the launch of the Xbox One. Even former executives at Microsoft, Xbox, Activision Blizzard are getting onto Twitter to say that Xbox is dead, like Mike Ibarra, who reposted this thing about PlayStation and said, yes, this is how you do it, Xbox sucks. Things have been so crazy for Xbox that every little thing that they've been doing over the past 2 years has just been put under the microscope. And at this point, people are willing to believe any sort of negative thing they hear about the Xbox brand. It's the perfect storm, the absolute perfect conditions for rumors like these to start spreading around. You see, back on October 5th, Sneakers SO, who is a leaker that is credited with knowing about Xbox's multi-platform plans ahead of time, said, without going into too much detail, not long after the last round of layoffs, next one should be coming Q1 of 2026, lots of things that were sure things started getting pushed, i.e. pushing new consoles, new hardware in 2026. It was one of those situations where despite folks being told, hey, we want to pull the trigger on this in 2026, the steps you would need to take in the lead up to delivering a new console gen weren't being met. To sum it up, the future of Xbox is software publishing with a significantly honed in focus on profitable IPs, Call of Duty, WoW, Minecraft, Candy Crush, Forza Horizon. Cloud gaming being the home of the Xbox platform, transitioning Game Pass into basically becoming the point of entry subscription for xCloud access. Maybe some OEM thing will take up the Xbox name, but given what is clearly a collapse in favorable mindshare and faith in said brand, I'm not even sure a third-party OEM is going to want to have an Xbox console by the time Microsoft is done with their reorienting of the division. Now, a lot of bold claims being made here, some that we've heard before, others not so much. Now, Xbox no longer making Xboxes anymore. That's crazy enough in and of itself. But the claim that not only are they transitioning away from consoles, but focusing fully on cloud gaming, which just got out of beta with this last Game Pass update and restructuring. That's crazy. We're talking about cloud gaming. Cloud gaming, it was just like a bonus perk that was part of our Ultimate subscription. So yeah, if Xbox went from being the dudes that were cranking out classics and absolute gold in the 360 generation to Google Stadia 2.0, that would be crazy. Like, who is Sneakers talking to? This is Xbox, a company owned by Microsoft that at this point is notorious for firing people for no other reason than just because they feel like it or they think it would be best. Clearly, these people do not value their jobs if they're revealing this type of information to people. And just a couple of weeks before we see the first partnered OEM Xbox with Asus, Sneakers is claiming that, man, we might not even see that anymore. Third-party manufacturers making their own Xbox consoles. They might not even have the interest. They might not even care anymore, given the way things are going. Now, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, I just don't know. I'm super skeptical because, well, I just don't know how this information gets around. I've been doing this for 4 years at this point, and I gotta like swear on my ancestors' grave that I'm not gonna say anything, sign some contracts to make sure that happens if I just wanna review a game just for like a week of early access. And then you have people like this who are like somehow privy to you like highly confidential information. Like, what's going on here? Are you an animorph or something, able to turn into a fly and then hang out in these meetings that Microsoft and Xbox are having, detailing very secret and sensitive info about their next generation console plans? Like a couple of leaked images of consoles or like dummy units for the Xbox Ally X. I feel like that's pretty easy to come across, right? Like, I don't know, like an email gets sent to the wrong address. Someone snaps a picture at like one of Microsoft's office and I don't know, like posts it from a burner account on Twitter and then it spreads from there. But to know the specific details of like, yes, Microsoft, Xbox, they were going to release new consoles in 2026 and then decided to backpedal because like Costco stopped stocking Xbox consoles entirely. Very skeptical about a lot of that stuff because I'm like, how do you know? How do you know this? The thing is that things are so crazy with everything that Xbox is doing right now. Even if this was absolute complete bullshit, it seems totally believable, especially the part about them not wanting to make consoles anymore. I mean, look at what they've been doing over the past year and a half. They've made entire marketing campaigns saying that you don't need a console, you don't need an Xbox to play Xbox games. They've been beating this drum of, yeah, we want you to play games wherever and however you want. They've been bragging about how many more monthly users they're getting in Xbox Cloud Gaming. Same thing with their efforts in PC gaming and PC Game Pass. And yeah, just a week or two ago, we were hearing reports that Costco was not stocking Xbox consoles anymore because of a business decision, i.e., well, why would we bother having them in stock if no one is buying them and also they're going up in price again? There are rumors saying that Sam's Club is also on that same trajectory as well, or adopting that same kind of strategy. All of that combined makes this rumor believable, whether it is true or not. And that's a problem for Xbox, a problem they've kind of already addressed. You see, they can stand slander about being called greedy for these price increases and all sorts of other stuff, but this rumor about not making Xbox hardware anymore, that's just a step too far. They put out a statement saying that we are actively investing in our future first-party consoles and devices designed, engineered, and built by Xbox, not by other third-party manufacturers, by Xbox. For more details, the community can revisit our agreement announcement with AMD. To their credit, that AMD announcement, at least on paper, served a couple of important purposes. Number one, it all but confirmed rumors that the next Xbox was going to be a console PC hybrid that supports multiple storefronts, much like with the ROG Ally and the upcoming Xbox Ally X. Sarabon literally said that they were going to support our existing Xbox library.
Enhanced with the power of AI, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games.
At the time, I was like, bet, this is dope. She basically just confirmed that the next Xbox lineup, whatever it's gonna look like, is gonna support our old Xbox games. They're gonna have some degree of backwards compatibility. I don't know if that's gonna be through emulation, but now I'm starting to second guess that. They just rolled out this update recently that adds a new little tab group at the end of your console, your PC, and your cloud dashboards. It's a little play history title. And on my Xbox, it's like, yeah, here are all the games that you played on your Xbox, of course. But then when I go on over to my PC or my ROG Ally, the same tab appears, but instead of being able to install those games and play them natively, they're like, here are your Xbox games, but a lot of them you're gonna have to stream either through the cloud or with remote play. I really hope that's not the solution. That's not what they're talking about when they say our existing Xbox library will be supported on the next Xboxes. I'm really praying, I'm hoping against hope that they mean we'll be able to play them natively, not stream them. Streaming, that's fine. That's just not the way I want to play. So great. They responded to it. They squashed the rumors. Everything's good now, right? Not quite, because it's one thing for Xbox to come out and flat out deny these rumors. It's another thing to expect that people will believe them. Maybe they are committed, they are going to make Xbox consoles with AMD for next generation. I believe they said it was like a 10-year partnership. I don't know if that, I don't know the specifics. I'm just saying we've seen Xbox say one thing and then do another in the past. So it's totally reasonable why people would expect them to switch up in regards to their next gen lineup. Now, I can't say what's going to happen beyond this next generation of consoles. Whenever these consoles come out, whether it's 2026, 2027, 2028, it may very well be the last Xbox consoles that we ever see. But I think we're going to get at least one more. So you won't believe Xbox, but would you believe AMD? Because apparently Moore's Law is dead, who has been at the forefront of a lot of Xbox rumors, said that several of his sources, including an AMD engineer, have confirmed that work on the new Xbox is moving ahead at full speed. The project was apparently discussed during a meeting on October 3rd, with sources indicating that development remains full steam ahead. He also said that Microsoft has a contract tied to Magnus that will cost them a ton of money if the project were canceled, meaning canceling the project would be very expensive. Duh. Lack of trust in big gaming companies, not just Xbox, is part of a larger overall trend. That's according to WCCF Tech, who recently conducted an interview with Brandon Sutton, who is a research game analyst. They asked him, is there a risk that Microsoft will alienate some of its oldest Xbox fans with such a steep increase in Game Pass pricing and the fact that they have walked back on some promises? For instance, they have now removed Call of Duty from the premium tier, so only the Ultimate tier will get access to the popular game. And he responds, I think the move will alienate many longtime Xbox fans. However, Microsoft is likely calculating that an increase in negative sentiment will not translate into a meaningful amount of canceled subscriptions. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy if they really thought that, especially unless it was really within their calculations that so many people would try to cancel that the website would crash. Like, they had to have known. They had to have known the backlash. They had to have run the numbers and said, yep, even though a bunch of people are going to be pissed off, mathematically, it still works out for us. We may lose some longtime Xbox fans, but the revenue, the money will still be enough to justify investment. It's looking more and more, whatever they say, that Microsoft is willing to piss off and lose faithful Xbox fans in the hopes that the new fans they gain through cloud gaming, PC gaming, wherever will offset that. Doesn't sound like a winning strategy for me, especially because without those loyal fans, there wouldn't be an Xbox. It also doesn't help that there are separate rumors popping up claiming that Xbox has canceled plans entirely for their first-party handheld. I know that sounds confusing because yes, we're technically getting an Xbox handheld in a couple of weeks with the Xbox Ally X, but that's technically a PC gaming handheld. No, especially after that announcement with AMD that they did, people were like, oh, we're actually gonna get a true first-party Xbox handheld, one that will play Xbox console games natively, not just the one supported by Xbox Play Anywhere. Well, apparently that's canceled now because AMD allegedly was like, yeah, we're not gonna make the chip for a handheld for you unless you buy 10 million units, unless you can guarantee 10 million Xbox handhelds will be sold, prompting Xbox to go, whoa, that's too much. Better cancel plans for this handheld. Now, again, this is something where I'm like, how would you know? How would you know? Like, how would you know the conversations being had between AMD and Microsoft? How would you know the specifics down to the number of units requested? How would you know any of this? It also seems kind of silly on AMD's part. As other people have pointed out, Steam Decks, there's only about like 4 million sold, maybe half of that for the ROG Ally. I don't even know what the numbers are like for the Lenovo Legion Go or other gaming handhelds. And the Steam Deck and the Ally are both powered by AMD chips, by AMD tech. So why would AMD impose that on Microsoft, on Xbox, and not on Asus or Steam Deck? They don't put those same expectations on them. But again, looking back on Xbox's history, that seems somewhat believable. Even if you don't believe the stuff about the AMD requesting 10 million whatever, they have canceled consoles before. They had this whole thing, Project Keystone, a cloud gaming only console. They got it all the way to the prototype phase. It made it all the way onto Phil Spencer's shelf. We were already talking like a holiday release window for this thing, and they were like, actually, no, we're canceling this. So yeah, who's to say that they wouldn't cancel a handheld or any other future plans for their hardware? Until we see it, until we are physically holding it in our hands, or it's on our shelves or on the shelves of retailers, there's still gonna be a lot of doubt. But as of right now, the Xbox console isn't dead, no matter what Mike Ibarra says or someone else on the internet. As of right now, I am operating under the assumption that we're going to get new Xbox consoles, and I'm also operating in the reality of now. The reality is that I play my Xbox almost every day. Yes, there's been a lot of controversy about Xbox as a brand, but the Series X and S are great bits of hardware. They're great devices. They've enabled me to enjoy countless games over the past 4 years. And even now, the only time I ever turn my PlayStation 5 on is to sometimes play exclusives. Not even so much anymore. I haven't even jumped into Ghost of Yotei, because there's still so much to enjoy on my Series X. My backlog is insane. And to me, that does not sound like a dead console. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.